a rather scary event happened during the Gonzaga USC game. So during that game, part of the Elite Eight matchup, referee Bert Smith, he ended up collapsing on the court, and it was a very scary thing. Like I remember seeing like the video of it, and basically what happened was he collapsed on the court, and then like you see like the bench closest to him. I don't know I forgot what team it was. It might have been Gonzaga, I think. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But the bench closest to him ended up like getting up. Like they ended up like getting right off their seats. And then you see the other ref, he blows the whistle. He like ends up like doing this with his arms. And they end up going to check on the ref. And the ref is on the ground. And it looked pretty scary at first. And it really did. He was on the ground and they ended up getting a stretcher. And the ref was actually like, he was awake. He was like responsive and everything like that. He was alert, and he ended up getting taken off the stretcher from the court. And it was honestly a very, very scary thing. The NCAA said he left the game with a medical issue, and he was feeling lightheaded, and they ended up helping him out in the locker room, and he was transported to a hospital, according to the NCAA. And before I pass it on to you, Nate, this article was written by Myron Medcalf, ESPN staff writer. So you go first. Your thoughts on ref Bert Smith collapse on the court?
First of all, I wish him the best of luck. That's very scary. I want to correct you though. He wasn't transported to a hospital. It says.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I said
Yeah, you're
absolutely
good.
wrong.
So, I'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, man, this stuff is very, very scary, and especially with all the lights around and all the stuff going on, especially with the lights on, being lightheaded, it's such a painful feeling, dude. Especially when you got like migraines or headaches, the lights being on. That's why when you see a lot of people that are like lightheaded or like they have migraines, they wear sunglasses inside. A lot of people think that's goofy, but it's because so the light doesn't intrude to their eyes, which makes it even worse. But I'm not sure if that was a cause of it, but I'm just putting that out there because I know a lot of people that do that, and myself included, if I do have that kind of issue. But I mean, he was tended into the locker room, obviously, but they're not transported to a hospital. A lot of people can argue that that was a questionable move. Obviously, something like this is um very serious. If it was even worse, they would have had to take him to a hospital. But I questioned it at first. I was reading, I'm like, wait, why didn't I transport him to a hospital? But then I forgot. I went back to watch a video, and he was responsive. He was doing all that. So that's obviously why. In case if you're wondering why they didn't do that. Um, but with that being said, yeah, there's not a lot for me to say here. It's just a very scary situation. I hope he's doing all right now. Um, Very, very scary. I mean, if I was a player or on the bench or just playing in general, if I saw that, I'd be like, dude, what the hell, man? Like that's just crazy. Like just out of nowhere, the dude just like plop, and I was just like, bro, that's crazy. But look, I hope what's his name again? Bert. I hope Bert Smith is doing well. I hope he's feeling all right. Best of luck to him in the future, and I'll pass on to you, Mario.
Yeah, um, first of all, I wish him the best of luck. I'm glad that he's okay. See, like in a lot of sports, right? When like referees make bad calls, we end up like getting mad and we end up cussing them out and we end up yelling at them. Like it's happened so many times. But this is like an example. This is an example of when like sports doesn't even matter. You know, this is a perfect example. Like, at this instance right here, sports does not matter. You got a guy on the ground and he collapsed. So at that point, like sports shouldn't even matter. This is when sports turns into real life. This is when you got to put your attention on that guy and help him out. And you know what? I want to say this. I want to say credit to the benches, to both benches, their health assistants or their health assistants or the doctors, where the
Absolutely.
team doctors. I want to give them absolutely like 100% credit. I tip my cap to them. Cap to them. Hang on a second. Tip my cap to them because honestly, they got to him
Yeah.
so fast, and I think that was like the most important thing. I think it was the most important thing for them to get to him as quick as they could and to like aid him. That's when sports doesn't matter and two doctors from different teams or two health assistants. I really don't know what to use the right word for that, but they end up coming to the aid of some guy who really needs help. So I got to give them a lot of credit to that. Um, but yeah, this is a perfect example to remind people that, like, look, when you're cussing out the ref and you're yelling, obviously you're mad at a call. We understand it, but there's so much more to sports than just cussing out a ref. This is why you got to really watch out what you say because honestly, Nate, like I couldn't picture saying anything like foul to this ref, and then all of a sudden that happens. You really don't want to see that from anybody. Somebody just collapse on the court, and look, in that gym, it's hot. You're doing a lot of running around. Obviously, you're gonna get lightheaded. Who knows how he felt how he felt before that game? You know what I'm saying? So, so obviously, we got to give a lot of credit to refs because obviously, obviously they're not holding the ball, they're not shooting it, they're not driving, they're not taking contact. We get all that, but they still are running up and down the court because that is their job. You know, that is their job to run up and down the court and to see the action, to call it how they see it. Same thing with football. They got to run down the field. Obviously, that's not a light run, running 50 yards if somebody gets that, or 60 yards. You know what I'm saying? It's not a light run. So we got to give them we got to give these refs a lot of credit. You got to be in shape as a ref. You know, you got to be able to run back and forth for 4 quarters or 2 quarters, depending on like whether it's college or NBA or even high school. We got to give them a lot of credit though. You know, and this is an
Absolutely agree.
instance and this is an instance where, like, and again, this is an instance of just watch out, just like watch out what you say. When you're cussing out a ref, think twice. Think about Bert Smith. Think about him collapse on the court, and ask yourself, when you're saying like "f you" to this guy, or you're saying all these, or you're cussing him out, or you're yelling at him. Think about what you're saying, and then ask yourself, if this guy were to something like, knock on wood, it doesn't happen. If something bad were to happen to this guy, would you have regretted what you said? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a lot of things that us as people and fans, that's what separates us, is how angry we get at like certain calls. And it's happened between all of us. Obviously, I've called you on the phone and raged about calls. You've called me on the phone and raged about calls. Obviously that happens, but that's what separates the person and the fan in us. Is the person might not ever want to see that, might not cuss out a ref, but the fan in us will, because we're mad about a call. And that's just a reminder that there are much more things that are bigger than sports, you know? So, I mean, with that being said, I wish Bert Smith the best of luck. Hopefully, knock on wood, that this doesn't happen to any other ref or any other person, because it shouldn't. And with that being said, just remember, there's some things in life that are bigger than sports.